2024 is a big election year. Not only will the country be selecting a new president, there are plenty of local races to keep our eyes on, including State House District 80. And we want to welcome back Representative Kathy Landing, who is seeking another term representing Charleston County. Big county. Welcome back.
Yes, thank you so much.
And so I think what's really on the minds of the nation as a whole, and we're no different here in Charleston County, is the economy. And I know that is one of your platforms. So maybe you can talk a little bit about how in a second term as representative you will increase opportunity for the people who live here in Charleston County.
Well, Leila, that's an excellent question. Thank you, first of all, for having me here today. The economy is something that is near and dear to my heart in terms of my background and experience. And I have a master's degree in financial planning, but I'm in my 40th year as an investment advisor and financial advisor. I'm a financial planner. And when people hear that, they don't always know what does that really mean. But I am a planner by nature, not just finances. So a huge part of what I do is risk management. And I have learned that this translates very well into my job as an elected official, both at the town of Mount Pleasant when I served there on council, as well as at the State House, because there's risk all around us. One of the risks that everybody feels every single time they go to the grocery store or the gas pump is the risk of these inflationary prices and what's happened. And while inflation is now slowing way down, let's face it, we're not going backwards, nor do we want a recession, which is what it would take to make them go backwards.
But we need the wages, though, to meet that, because we're making the same and we're not investing as much money because we don't have it.
There we go. So one of the things I'm very glad to say that I actually was chosen recently by the Chamber of Commerce as a champion of business, along with a number of my other fellow House members and senators, because I understand that it's not partisan to help bring jobs to South Carolina.
Of course.
We need everybody to have the best possible job they have, and we do have to compete. We have to compete with North Carolina and Georgia and other places, and we have done a really good job of that and brought amazing amounts of jobs and investment into this state.
Well, and speaking of jobs, what was really shocking is to read in the Post and Courier that it took at least $60,000 to be above the low income line. That anyone who's making just below $60,000 a year, you're considered low income. And here we know it's very expensive to live. It's very expensive to try to find property or even to rent for that matter. So how do we mitigate this problem? How do we try to get some of those costs down without having to increase wages, because increased wages do go up, which means everything else is going to go up?
Right. Well, there are a lot of efforts made at all the different municipal levels, and the state has also tried to do things that help incentivize developers to be willing to build some properties. For instance, if they're building an apartment complex, to build some properties that help with the, have a limited income specification, not to destroy their ability to make money, but rather to say, okay, some percentage of that should also. But another important part of this is making sure people realize what we've done, even at the state level. We voted in the last 2 years in my first term for a big enhancement to our workforce development, and that is there's now a portal to go in and actually pinpoint where you live, what the jobs are that are around you, how much they pay, and what it's going to take. So if you need a couple extra courses, or you need to learn coding, or you need to this,
that's fascinating.
and it'll actually pinpoint for you a number of job I went on it myself when it first came up. I went on that for Mount Pleasant, and just in my own area, there were like 650 jobs within a mile or two.
Wow. Okay. I want to switch gears. We only have about a minute and a half left, but traffic, it's awful. How do we improve the situation for the people who live here?
We continue to work hard on roads and bridges, and this is an ongoing struggle, and we did do a tremendous amount of funding for roads and bridges, and we also have a lot of work that's being done now. There are a lot of subjects on that, including all the ones related to CARTA and the new bus system that I probably am not the best person to answer on that one, but I will say that on traffic in general, we have to have more people able to work close to where they live, so they don't have such a long commute.
Okay. And with 40 seconds left, we're 43rd out of all 50 states in education. We need to improve that. How do you endeavor to do so?
So I served on the Education Committee, Education Public Works Committee over the last 2 years, and we worked very, very hard to both enhance the experience for our teachers. We did a number of things, including raising teacher pay, which Charleston County followed up even more so that was terrific. But on top of that, things like better leave during, for having children and so forth. We worked on integrity and transparency in education, and it was not as controversial as it was made out to be, except there were some sticking points that I hope will change this time.
It's not going to be an easy road.
We need to make sure everybody is focused on education, reading, writing, and arithmetic, and spending the time well.
100%. KathyLanding.com, that's your website?
Yes, KathyLanding.com, and I do have a weekly update that is once a month during the off session. Please go to that website and you'll see a lot of great information on all that we're working on.
Representative, thank you so much for joining us today. Appreciate your time. We're back after this.